What's up, YouTube? So here we are on CNN. This was back in June of this year, 2017, June 28th. And it says NASA will try again to create colorful clouds in the night sky. Now I'm doing this video for all the people who still don't believe that, oh, those are contrails, those aren't chemtrails. Like, no, those are chemicals being sprayed on us. And it's time for people to wake up and start realizing this shit, because it is not a joke. Now, after you hear this, then in the next few days, the next week, the next month, just look up at the sky and pay attention and think about what this article says. Think about the things that I'm about to tell you. And then you'll see it for yourself that this is not a joke. This is real. So it says, NASA is hoping for some better weather as it attempts to launch a much anticipated rocket Thursday morning after scrubbing the launch too many times to count. The Terrier improved Malamute sounding rocket is expected to create a light show of blue, green, and red clouds visible on much of the East Coast from New York to North Carolina. The launch window will last from 4:25 a.m. to 4:48 a.m. So think about that. They're launching something in the sky that's creating a light show in its blue, green, red clouds. And there's other articles where I've read about the purple too, and I'm going to show you some videos that I took myself with these same images that they're talking about on a regular basis, and it's done by planes that are flying in the middle of the afternoon. Mostly, actually, I won't say the middle of the afternoon. It's mostly at sunrise and sunset that I've noticed. And if you pay attention, you'll start to notice too. But it says the rocket's launch has been delayed several times since May 31st, with the last attempt on June 24th foiled by extensive cloud cover. Previous attempts were scrubbed for various reasons, from strong winds and clouds to boats in the potential payload landing area. Now I'm stuttering because I'm looking over here at this area where they got all this stuff going on that they're launching this, and this looks exactly like where the hurricane is about to hit right now. It's interesting. I think I'm gonna go dig around some more and see if I can find if there was anything going on around Florida and around Texas with NASA here recently. But it just goes on to talk about the launch. The clouds, or vapor tracers, are formed through the interaction of barium, strontium, and cupric-oxide, according to NASA. Now let's stop right there. Let's jump up here and look up that first chemical. Barium. Oh, barium clouds even pops up. Well, let's just see what the definition is for now. We just want to know the definition. Barium, by definition, the chemical element of atomic number 56, a soft white reactive metal of the alkaline earth group. Barium's definition. Now let's see, what else did they say here? Strontium. Let's look up strontium. Strontium definition. The chemical element of atomic number 38, a soft silver-white metal of the alkaline earth series. Its salts are used in fireworks and flares because they give a brilliant red light. So more metal of the alkaline earth. Let's see what cupric-oxide's definition is. Toxicity, what is that? We gotta check that out for sure. I just want to show you the definition first. Here we go. Copper oxide, copper oxide, copper monoxide, copper brown, copper oxide. So there you go. It's basically an alkaline. Also, let's see what the laboratory chemical safety summary is. Chemical. See, once again, it says chemical. Chemical. Very toxic to aquatic life. Hazardous to aquatic environment. Acute hazard. Very toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effects. Hazardous to aquatic environment. Long-term hazard. I mean, are we starting to put it all together now, people? They say it's okay, but the laboratories say, no, it's not okay. Harmful if swallowed, but yet they tell you it's okay. You can breathe it in. Very toxic to aquatic life. Warning, hazardous to aquatic environment. Harmful to with long-lasting effects. Information may vary between notification depending on impurities, additives, and other factors. The percentage value in parentheses indicates the notified classification ratio from all companies. Only hazard codes with percentage values above 10% are shown. May cause an allergic skin reaction. May cause respiratory irritation. Target organ toxicity, singular exposure, respiratory tract irritation. Everybody is sick right now. Does that sound familiar to you? May cause drowsiness or dizziness. Specific target organ toxicity, single exposure, narcotic effects. Causes damage to organs, specific target, organ toxicity, single exposure. Very toxic to aquatic life. Long-term hazard. You see this, right? You can't make this stuff up, people. European Chemical Agency. Why am I not surprised that they have their hand in this shit? The EPA. These are people who we pay to do this to us. We do this to ourselves, essentially, by that. And let's go back and see. It says they pose absolutely no hazard to residents along the mid-Atlantic coast. But yet we just saw from a website how they're hazardous to aquatic life. They're on the coast. Hello, ring ding ding. Does anything sink in yet? Please tell me it's working. Sounding rockets have been used for more than 40 years to carry science payloads on missions the last 5 to 20 minutes. The vapor tracers will allow scientists on the ground to view the movement of particles in the ionosphere, which is how they control the weather, through HAARP in the ionosphere, a part of Earth's atmosphere that stretches to the edge of space, to learn more about the movement of air currents at that altitude. The whole mission will last about 8 minutes, it says, but the effects are going to be long term, as I've just proven to you by only one of the chemicals that they released. Okay, so here we are on the NASA website. You can see here for yourself. NASA flights to produce sonic booms at Kennedy Space Center for supersonic research. NASA's research to advance supersonic flight will take wing over the launch site for the agency's storied space program in August. NASA's flight to produce sonic boom at Kennedy Space Station Center for Supersonic Research. NASA's research to advance supersonic flight will take wing over the launch site for the agency's storied space program in August. Teams and aircraft from NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in California and Langley Research Center in Virginia Two of the agency centers that conduct extensive aeronautic research will deploy to Kennedy Space Center in Florida for a nearly 2-week flight series campaign. See, it goes on to say, Sonic Bat helps NASA researchers better understand how low-altitude atmospheric turbulence affects sonic booms, which are produced when an aircraft flies at supersonic speeds or faster than the speed of sound. The upcoming flight series is a key initiative in validating tools and models that will be used for the development of future quiet supersonic aircraft, which will produce a soft thump in place of the louder sonic boom. The F-18 will take off from Kennedy's shuttle landing facility and fly the coast of Cape Canaveral at an altitude of 32,000 feet. It will fly a designated flight path where it will exceed Mach 1, the speed of sound, and produce a sonic boom. NASA is expecting to fly the F-18 2 to 3 times per day starting Monday, August 21st, and will conclude the end of the month of early September, focusing on collective data on a targeted minimum of 33 sonic booms. Listen to that, 33. The Freemasons, that's their number. They're flying at 32,000 feet, creating sonic booms in the same area where Hurricane Irma just devastated. I showed you where they launched the fake clouds in the same area where Jose's about to devastate. But we're not done yet. We're gonna go see. Let's go look out where Harvey just got devastated and see what we can find on that. So here we are, still on the NASA website. You can see up here in the corner. And I'm reading through, looking about Texas, and it says that while the eclipse time period was going on, that they were doing a series of vibration through a telescope, and they're trying to figure out how to get this telescope up into space or whatnot. And it says right here, you can see, in space, the telescope must be kept extremely cold, and in order to be able to detect the infrared light from very faint distant objects. To protect the telescope from external sources of light and heat like the sun, earth, and moon, as well as from heat emitted by the observatory, a 5-layer tennis court-sized sun shield acts like a parasol that provides shade. The sun shield separates the observatory into a warm sun-facing side reaching temperatures close to 185 degrees Fahrenheit and a cold side 400 degrees below zero. The sun shield blocks sunlight from interfering with the sensitive telescope instruments. Now, it seems awful funny there in Texas doing something with this sun shield, and during the time we have an eclipse that's only visible in the United States. There was never anything visible in the sky before or after the eclipse. Like, if you guys are still believing NASA after all the information that's being pointed out to you, these guys lie, they're frauds, they're phonies, they're raking us for billions of dollars every year and killing us in the process. I mean, think about this, you guys. This is the most powerful space telescope ever built, and they use the sun shield to block it out in Texas right before the eclipse. The American eclipse, in Neil Tyson's words. And look at this thing. They were talking about how they had to close the door, and it took 10 days to suck all the air out and another month to get it down to temperatures of space so the telescope could even go inside there. Man, this was all a front to build their sun shield that brought you guys the American eclipse that they made so much money off of. Like, I could tell just by looking at that it was fake. And that's why they kept telling people, don't look at it without glasses because you could go blind and it'll damage your camera. Man, that's bullshit. I got 4 hours worth of footage and my camera still works just fine. I stood outside the whole time it was going on and randomly stared up at it for longer than a couple of minutes at a time. I mean, I didn't have no problems. I still don't have no problems. I see just fine. Just like I can see all this garbage that I'm reading to you right now. And I don't know, I feel like I'm wasting my time because I still feel like you just ain't going to get it. You're not going to believe it until it's killing you. Like, you've seen the respiratory illness as part of it. Look at this thing. And they're blasting vibrations in the air off of this thing to test a telescope. Come on, look at the, you see this in the background right here, the discolors and the purples and the blues. This is, I'm getting ready to show you videos I took myself of stuff like this, and these are the chemtrails. These are the barium and the strontium and the Culpric-Oxide or whatever the hell it's called. This is it right here. These are the chemicals, and these are what it's doing to you. And I just showed you, we had Hurricane Harvey in Texas around the same time into the early months of September, and there's NASA doing experiments. We had Hurricane Irma in Florida, and where was NASA? Right there at the Kennedy Space Center doing experiments. We had up in the East Coast, there they was, NASA releasing colorful clouds into the air, sonic booms from jets, vibrational pulses into the air, and now the United States has got crazy tornadoes. Everywhere's flooded, everywhere's on fire, there's hurricanes left and right, tropical storms attacking us. Like, if you guys don't believe they can modify the weather as much as they've admitted it, man, I don't know what to tell you, because this is just, the information is right there for everybody to see. And I'm presenting it to you, and the sad part is you probably won't even thank me.